Welcome to the Thursday edition of the Spark Creativity Teacher Podcast, a podcast for English teachers in search of creative teaching strategies. Whether you're new to the show or a longtime listener, I'm so glad you're here for today's edition of Highly Recommended. This week, let's talk about careers. I don't know if you can relate, but I graduated from high school with a general awareness of maybe 6 careers: law, medicine, teaching, ministry, science, and business. Let's talk about how we can show our students a broader view of what's out there and build in some ELA skills in the process. A fun way to start any careers unit is with a careers scavenger hunt, an easy form of research students can do as they move through their days. Just invite your students to begin noticing the careers they're interacting with, making up a list of every career they can think of that relates to whatever they're doing for one day. It's more challenging and more fun than you might think. Ask your students to come up with at least 25 careers over the course of the day. For example, they wake up and check their phones. This could lead to careers like social media influencer, programmer, designer, app creator, phone salesperson. They go pick up coffee. Maybe they write down coffee shop manager or coffee shop owner, organic coffee farmer, pastry chef, interior designer, contractor, advertising agent. Then they go to school. Teacher, administrator, politician, secretary, department chair, electrician, engineer. Head for the mall. Okay, that's clothing designer, clothing buyer, social media strategist for a clothing line, marketer, photographer, restaurant manager, chef, furniture buyer, urban planner. You get the idea. As students begin to think about all the different jobs associated with their own daily routines, it'll help open their eyes to the many, many different careers out there. Okay, let's talk about another option. Similarly, you can help students begin to think beyond the surface by having them write down one field they feel interested in, they feel drawn to, and start to research it to discover, again, maybe 25 different jobs in that field. There are so many jobs in most fields beyond the one that first comes to mind. What jobs, for example, are connected to film director? So many. To doctor, to teacher, to chef. This is a really fun activity to stretch students' imagination. Then, once they have these extensive lists, have them walk around and see each other's lists, jotting down the one career on every other list that is most appealing to them. Okay, diving a little deeper, one unique way of approaching a careers unit is to start a class careers blog. In this case, you might invite every student to shadow someone whose line of work feels interesting to them, and then make a contribution to the blog based on what they learn. You can imagine how this blog might grow over time with all these student perspectives on different career paths. This contribution that they make, it could be a video about the experience of shadowing the person, about what their career is like. It could be a narrative profile that they write about the person they shadow. It could be a Q&A style interview that's written down. It could be a photo essay with pretty extensive captions or something else. Of course, if you're going to publish the careers blog online, you can keep the students anonymous and you can ask for permission from the people that they are showcasing. If you're going to use any visuals or mention any names, you'll want to get permission. That way you can keep this document alive over the years. You can have your students accessing each other's stories from years past. Another lower stakes project is to let students create timelines of startup companies based on NPR's show, How I Built This. Do you know this podcast? I love this podcast. In each episode, the narrator, the host, Guy Raz, interviews different business leaders who have built really successful companies. So students could look at the episode list and choose a company that they personally are intrigued by. And then they can listen to it and use it as a starting point to create timelines for how the company grew. Usually, and you're going to notice this if you listen to a few episodes, the company grew slowly with lots of different setbacks and lots of problems and lots of commitment and creativity from the person who started the business. Then, after students create their timelines, you can have them share them and presentations or a gallery walk so that students get sort of the background of many different businesses and how they were constructed. Similarly, you could create a class podcast, having every student contribute by recording an interview with someone about their career or recording a short summary about the research that they did about a career. If they reach out to real people, then come some very valuable skills like how to do a cold email, how to write interview questions, how to write a thank you letter, along with how to record sound clips on Zoom. So many valuable real-world skills here. Hopefully, after completing a few of these activities, your students will have a broader view of the working world and a little more motivation to care about the skills they're learning in your classroom. After all, restaurant owners need to be able to write email newsletters these days. Business owners may draw clientele through podcasting and social media captions. App designers have to be able to pitch their ideas through strong presentations to venture capitalists. You know what I'm getting at. ELA is everywhere. It's just a matter of getting students to see that. A careers unit has the potential to be incredibly engaging. Who isn't curious about their life options, right? And it also has the potential for plenty of ELA skill practice, research, interview skills, writing, speaking. So today, I just want to highly recommend that if you've got a little hole in your curriculum and a whole lot of students who don't really know what they want to be, you consider adding a creative careers unit to your lineup.